Alright guys, here we go, another game. Looks like I'm playing a guy named Buzzhole. This will be a Caro-Kann, looks like. I like this opening from the black side. It's very solid, and a lot of times you can whip up some nice attacks from on either side, depending on where the player's castle. If it ends up being a main line, usually both players castle queenside, and there's a lot of action in the center, but then it trades down into an ending. But in this case, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Let's see, 1708, and he is from Thailand. I'm actually a big fan of Thai food, so that works out pretty well, I guess. My favorite dish is pad see ew, which is like pan-fried noodles, and it's got like egg and soy sauce and peanuts in it usually. I usually get it without peanuts though, because I don't like it that much. But yeah, Thai food, delicious, especially with some bok choy and broccoli, very good. So this is mostly mainline. I forgot to play h5 to gain an extra tempo on the king side, but it's okay. I was planning on going queen side anyway. So the plans are usually stuff like bishop d2, c4, bishop c3. h5, and then you can develop the kingside rook to either h3, h4, or maybe even to e1 after you castle queenside. So there's a lot of good ideas here in the Caro-Kann, and I think I'll just play for the queenside development, simply because when a lot of times if a player castles kingside in the Caro-Kann, they get attacked really hardcore. So this is just a 3-minute game, and my opponent's in Thailand, so he's lagging a little bit, so it's not... Hopefully it doesn't go too far over the time limit. I think I'll just castle here. I'm not worried about doubling the pawns here, because my bishop will be very strong. However, I don't want him to win the pawn, so I'll just play knight e4. Fight it off. I lose a tempo to knight f6, I guess, but it's not too bad. I'll just put my queen back on d3, put my bishop c3, and play for d5 if I can get that in. That would be very nice. Okay, I guess he's forcing me to trade off my dark-squared bishop, which is interesting. I've never seen that method of play before. It seems like he would want to keep his dark-squared bishop on because it's a very good piece, but I guess not in this case. I'm going to go king c2, I think. Well, king b1, same thing. But if I go king b1, he can play queen e4, and when he captures, and I can take back with the king on if I play king c2. And if he plays queen e4 here, I just play rook e1. So he castled kingside, a little strange. I think g3, now he's going to force the queens off. And after king d3, my king's very active already in the center. Might be a little loose, I guess, but I think in general my king will be very potent. If I go knight e5 right away, then he can play c5 and undermine my d-pawn, which would not be good. So instead I'm going to play rook e5. Rook e5, yeah. And then he plays... Okay, so he's going to play there. Now maybe just king c3 to get out of that pin. And now if he pushes c5, I can push d5, and I'll have a passed d-pawn. It'll be an isolated passed pawn, but a passed pawn is usually good. It's usually good in an ending. So I'm going to play a4, a5, simply to try to break up his queenside a little bit. I'm not too worried about him pushing, pressuring my d-pawn, I guess. Maybe c5 here is okay for him. My d-pawn is pinned. Guess he thinks he's going to win a pawn here. But I can just play knight takes or rook takes followed by knight takes. So I'm not worried about that. Now, I think... Can I push here? D5, pawn takes, knight takes. I can't... It's not quite strong enough. So maybe B4. And maybe I'll get a passed c-pawn out of this. Because my knight's guarding d4, it's his doubled rooks aren't going to be too much of a pain for me. However, if I can capture on c5, that'd be nice. I think trading a pair of rooks might be okay for me. I really don't know. But I'd rather take with the rook. That way, my knight's not in a pin when I take. So, and now I can pressure his b pawn with moves like rook b5 and c5. Well, he's attacking my f pawn, but I'm not worried about that. Because if I take his b pawn, then I have connected passed pawns that'll be rolling up the board. So, it would be very difficult for him to play if I have all that material. So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take his b pawn here. I'm not worried about his check here. I just king b2. And now I'll just push my pawns, and it'll be very easy for me to win this, probably. I could have also taken his e-pawn here, which would have been good. Check, and I'll place my knight on d5. It'll be nice there to keep an eye on his e-pawn, which could be a hassle for me later on. Expecting rook d3 check. And now I'm threatening checkmate with, yeah, that's checkmate. Yeah, so, he got a little overzealous with his passed e-pawn. He had to be careful of my back rank checkmate, but I actually finally won a game. I think with all of I have quite a few games that I've recorded and talked about and commentated on that I wasn't able to upload to YouTube for various reasons. Either the file was corrupted according to YouTube, or it was too long for some reason, and too short for me to break it up into 2 parts. So maybe at some point I'll get like a website going and turn them into like podcasts or something. I don't know. Maybe. Depends how popular I get. Alright. Rating, commenting, and subscribing is always appreciated. So, talk to you guys later. Next game.